What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Steve Belize coming at you live from the heart of West Baltimore. Welcome back to the channel where we dive deep to observe what's going on around us through the lens of faith. This video I got right here is from Voddie Bauchmam, and it's explaining why the Bible couldn't have been corrupted and how an impossible task it would have been for anybody to do so, or any group or organization. So we're going to get right into this video. Let's get it.
If overzealous monks want to change the Bible, can I explain to you what they would have had to do? 3 levels of conspiracy. Level number 1, they would have had to have a manuscript conspiracy. When we're talking about just the New Testament itself, there are over 6,000 manuscripts or portions of manuscripts for the New Testament itself. Now, that may not sound like a lot to you, but can I compare it to a couple of things? Julius Caesar's Gallic Wars. That's how we know about Julius Caesar and his conquest. We have around 10 manuscripts. Aristotle's Poetics, we have nearly 5 manuscripts. When it comes to the writings of Herodotus, we have less than 10 manuscripts. When it comes to the writings of Homer, less than 10 of each of his writings. When it comes to the New Testament, we have 6,000 manuscripts or portions of manuscripts for the New Testament. Folks, that's not even close. Well, you don't have the originals. No, we really don't. But guess what? We can get earlier than AD 120 with some of the copies that we have. When it comes to Julius Caesar's Gallic Wars, the earliest thing we can put our hands on was written 900 years after the original. But nobody's tearing down the walls in college because they're reading Caesar. When it comes to Aristotle, the earliest thing we can put our hands on was written 1,400 years after the original. But when it comes to the New Testament, we can put our hands on documents that were written within decades of the originals. So if these overzealous monks wanted to doctor the Bible, what they would have to do is find over 6,000 manuscripts, change all of them, not show their ink work, get them all back where they stole them from, and never tell anybody what they did. That's just level number 1.
Stop that for a second and never tell anybody what they did. Come on. People always talk. You know that. But never tell nobody what you did. We'd have heard the whole thing by now.
Here's level number 2. Jesus said, go and make disciples of ta ethne, every people group. Funny thing about people groups, they tend to speak different languages. So within the first few centuries, we have the Bible translated into Syriac, Coptic, and Latin. So now these overzealous monks have to find 6,000 Greek manuscripts, change those, doctor them up, don't show your ink work, get them back, go find all the Syriac, Coptic, and Latin translations of those Greek manuscripts, change those to match the lies that you told in another language, and get those back where you stole them from. And that's just level number 2. Now you got level number 3. The early church fathers had this terrible habit of writing commentary on the New Testament. So much so that Bruce Metzger argues, if all we had of the New Testament was the quotations and citations by the early church fathers, we could reproduce over 95% of the New Testament just from their writings. So now these overzealous monks have to find 6,000 manuscripts and portions of manuscripts, steal them, change them, don't show your ink work, get it back without anybody finding out. They got to find Syriac, Coptic, and Latin translation, change those to match the lies that they told in the 6,000 manuscripts, get those back where they stole them from, and then find all of the writings of all of the early church fathers, change those to match the lies that they told 2 layers ago, get those put back, never tell anybody what they did, and never ever get caught. Help you if you believe that.
All right. Now, hear what he said. They have to steal 6,000 manuscripts, steal them, change them up, don't show their ink work, put them back to where they got them from without anybody ever finding out, never tell anybody. Go find the different languages that they have been translated into, change those without anybody finding out, never telling anybody, put those back. And then they had to find the works of all the early church fathers, change them, put them back without anybody finding out and never telling anybody. That's impossible. Trust me, it's impossible. You know it's impossible. So that lets you know these books weren't changed. And if you guys believe that Julius Caesar really existed, and like I said, there's only maybe 10 manuscripts that even speaks about this guy. But when it comes to Jesus, there are thousands. When it comes to the Bible, there are thousands. They're like, even the Romans have papers and stuff in historical documents about Jesus's trial. And they were scared because they thought he was going to be another king that was going to overthrow their kingdom because they thought he was an earthly king. He was doing miracles and things like that. And they say he was doing them. These are the people who were against him. They said this man was doing miracles, and they didn't want him to steal the love of the people and become, becomes a great king, an earthly king. But he already was a king. He's the king and Lord of lords. So don't let nobody fool you telling you that these works have been changed. Don't let anybody fool you telling you that it's another man's religion, the white man, this is this man religion. No, this is the truth. It's the gospel. It's the word of God. If you believe any of those other historical things that my brother mentioned, then there's no reason for you not to believe the gospel. And it's just real quick, I want to share that with y'all. I love y'all, man. Get your Christ on so you can get your life on.